Hi guys, it's Allie with Chaos Monkey, and I am here just to go over WIPS, future projects, acquisitions, just all the little things, because I haven't caught you guys up in a while. And I figured if you were kind of following, you'd want to know what I've done, because I know I'm like that with other podcasters. I actually got quite a few acquisitions because of the sales going on everywhere for Black Friday. I mean, no big haul, but kind of here and there. But I'll start with projects. Let's see. I guess we could start with finished projects because I only have one, which is the beanie bag project. I didn't want to do an entire video on just this by itself because it's, you've seen it as I've gone, and it just seems kind of weird to do a whole video on it. And I'm going to pull it out of my beanie bag, and here it is finished. I haven't washed or blocked it. I just woven all the ends, and as you can see, well, almost all the ends. This one is actually woven in, but I'm keeping it to help attach a pom-pom as like backup. But you can see that some of it was stranded up, and then some of it I had like, oh geez, probably 20 ends on top of what wasn't pulled up. Because on some of the instructions they say to carry the yarn up or keep it attached because you're going to keep going to that color. So it saved me a few ends. And as you can see, I have better settings on the camera today, but again my lighting is kind of crappy, so I'm hoping it won't be too bad. But you can kind of get the idea, but you're not going to see the colors really well because it's overcast here. It's been snowing, and I need to get some better lighting, but not priority. So, as you can see, I did the gray here, and I did make modifications on the color at the top, and I did switch back to the gray at the very top. I don't know why, just because it felt more, I don't know, even? What would be the word for that? I want to say level. That's not the right word either. Balanced. There we go. It seemed a little more balanced. And I did put the bright blue in, which was gonna. I was worried it was gonna kind of bother me because they had a big strip of the blue, and I put the dark gray here to tone it down, and then kind of mixed the blue with the turquoise that's already in the rest to kind of tone it down, and then switched back to the pink. So I kind of did whatever towards the end before the decreases. And the decreases were weird. It kind of makes a nice top, but it also kind of makes like a flat top. As you can kind of see, it kind of just goes flat. They didn't do like a round of just regular knitting in between. They just did decrease, 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 decrease. And usually you do like a decrease, plain round of knitting and a decrease to kind of have a slow slope. But they kind of just went all out and just flat on top. So I like it. It's, like I said, a scrappy hat. I'm going to keep the club, but I also hope that they maybe plan future projects a little better with the color scheme. I don't mind using smaller yarns or even scraps that they may have from other clubs as long as they kind of coordinate a little bit, because if all the projects look scrappy, I'll probably stop subscribing because I can only do so many scrappy pieces. And then I took all the scraps I had left, and you guys are going to laugh, but I made a giant pom-pom out of, I think I used almost all my scraps. The only two I didn't get in there were, do I have them in here? Were these two. Those were the only two I didn't fit. And I still got a lot of the gray and a lot of this in. So you could see all the different colors in the hat. And in the pom-pom, there was a lot of scraps. And I made, oops, is this going to come out? Yeah. I made a giant pom-pom out of fingering weight yarn. And it is huge. And I was trying to experiment with colors. The instructions actually had on the last month how to make like a polka dot pom-pom. And I was like, I don't want to go to that much work. So I kind of tried to do a stripy pom-pom, which kind of worked. As you can see, both sides kind of match. So it was just for funsies, but if you want to see the scale of it on the hat, it's big. It's big. which is why I had the extra yarn to reinforce, because I'm going to go through with these 2 strands and then reinforce it from the inside on this strand, and I'm going to put a button here and then push everything through the buttonholes, because I have some big buttons, to just stabilize it so that it's not flopping around or pulling it off your head or whatever, because this is a tighter fitting beanie. In fact, let me see if I can get my adult head and see. I haven't even seen how it fits on a mannequin head. I'm not at a great angle, but I wonder. So I haven't tried it on my head either. Oh, it's pretty good sized. It's a little slouchy, it looks like, because you see how it's coming over his eyes. But, not much. So, with the pom-pom, you can kind of get an idea. The cat was hitting my keyboard and it was playing an ad that was running on YouTube's. So anyway, here's the pom-pom and the hat, which I really like. So I'll put it on and reinforce it, because it's not super heavy, but it is heavy enough to kind of pull on the hat if you're wearing it. So I didn't want the scraps, because you all know I don't like having a lot of scraps around. So that was pretty cool. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I just wouldn't want every project to be the same with the scrappy thing. But they said they were revamping the club for 2019, so we're supposed to find out on the 14th, and I'm filming this on the 13th, so tomorrow, if you want to look on the Jimmy Beans website to find out what they're doing for the clubs. And then here I have a bag, and in the bag I have socks. So these are just 2 at a time. This lighting is really not good, and I need more distance. I usually film at my desk where I can get a lot more distance, and I can't do that now. It's too dark over there. Oops, this is my scraps from when I had to get them both to match stripes. I always keep my scraps in case I need them later. This is in Regia by Schockenmeyer. This is the Arnie and Carlos. I think this was my last Arnie and Carlos. Way back, I'd bought a whole bunch of their stuff. And as you can see, there's the Arnie and Carlos. This is the ones they designed for Regia. And this color has a number. My camera. So it's 03658 if you guys can find it anywhere. And that's what it looks like. The picture actually, it looks like the striping, but not the colorway. The striping is kind of similar. They do a Fair Isle design on all these. There's the second sock. So, yeah, these are actually a Christmas gift. So I'm almost to the heel. I got a few inches before I hit the heel. And of course they're toe up with the, what do I use? Judy's Magic Cast On at the toe. And 40-inch circular, fixed circular. These are Hayas, size 0. And this just marks the beginning of the round. And yeah, I'm making pretty good progress on those. But and as you can see, when I balled up the yarn into the little cakes, fits really good in this bag. But this bag was from Tea Doddles. I bought one of her bags. She's selling bags on her Etsy shop. And Tea Doddles, if you don't know, has a podcast too. And she made her own little tags. These are really cool. She can print them and stuff. So my finger's stuck. And so I bought one of her little size bags, and it has hedgehogs and snowmen, and then on the inside is hedgehogs, and I love it. So I use this as a little sock bag that I do it would be super perfect for one at a time. You can get two at a time to fit in here comfortably. And it's just a little tiny bag. No, just perfectly functional. I love it. I shove it in my bag because it's super easy to shove in my bag. Unlike some of my bigger sock bags, this one is really good. And yeah, it has a little drawstring. So that's works in progress. So I had the finished hat. I have socks. I have another set of socks. And this bag is actually also an acquisition. There it was off of Blueprints or Craftsy. They were having a sale, and these bags were like $2. And it's just a kind of a, I want to say like a plastic canvas. It's like lines, slippery, a little bit slippery on the inside, canvasy on the outside. You can see how big around it is if you look at my hands. And it has the clear top with a handle and a grommet. If you want to use a grommet, which I don't, because these type of grommets, your project is locked in until you're finished. I like the grommets that actually let you remove the yarn while the project is going. But this is also a pair of socks, two at a time. If I can get them. And this is, oh, these are for my boyfriend, as you can tell, because I have the ribbon on the bottom. And the toes are a little wider. Oh, and then for Tea Doodles, I got this. She gives a nice card. I had it all together, and I don't know where I put it. But she has a nice little card, and she give you little freebies with the stitch markers. So this is just one of the ones I got from Tea Doodles. Just super cute. It's just a little lobster class, so I'm just using it as the beginning of the round. What sock yarn is this? I think it's a Croy because it's really thick. Yes. This one's a Patton's Croy. I thought... Okay, and this was the Croy socks in Greener Pastures. And again, the Croy is the thicker, kind of tougher, but soft sock yarn, and I do it on a real small gauge so that it's pretty dense. As you can see. And it's coming out pretty good. So that's my second pair of socks on the needles. And yeah, this was, I don't know if they still have any on Blueprint, but this was originally like $6 and it was like 50% off. Let's see, what else was I doing? Oh, I had done another shawl, which again, I'll give you guys pictures because I know at this close of a range. And as you can see, this was the same, like I do this shawl a lot. This was the Spring Shower Shawl by something Paradise. And I'll put it in the description bar, but this isn't my pattern. This is another pattern that I follow quite a bit. But I ran out of yarn. This one was one of the, I wonder if I have the tag. I don't think I do. It was the ones by Sugar Wheel by Hobby Lobby. Spit it out. And it was a little short because when I tried to do the border, this ran out. So I ripped it back to here, and I kind of put it in timeout after I was finished, but I really do like the way it looks. I wish you guys could see it all together with the color changes. But I think I'm going to have to rip back completely and eliminate one of these mesh rows on each run of these. There's usually 3 mesh rows because it's usually a bigger shawl with more yarn. But I'm going to probably rip all the way back to here, eliminate 1 or 2 of the mesh rows depending on how it looks. Actually, how many do I have in there? I only have 3. No, this one has 4. So I'll go back to this one, maybe cut them down to 2, cut this one down to 2, and then I might have enough for the full border. But so far it's a pretty soft yarn. I like the color changes. I did have to cut out when it went from yellow to purple here because there was some craziness in between. It went from like a yellow to a super splotchy, and you could see the splotch, and it looked really bad. So I had to cut a little bit out there. And for the most part, most of the color changes are doing pretty well, because sometimes with these cake yarns, you can have a really nasty color transition. See here, this isn't bad. Here you can see some of the transition, and it totally blends in. So yeah, I just put this one in timeout. Again, it's the Spring Showers Shawl. It's a free pattern on Pattern Paradise, I think. If you look on Ravelry, I think that's where I found it. So that one's in timeout. I need to finish it or rip it out, because it'd be great if I had 2 balls of the same color, but I didn't buy 2 balls of those because I was kind of testing out the sugar wheels. Let's see, what else am I working on? Oh, okay, here's my sweater. This was the Danya cardigan. If you guys saw my other works in progress video, you would have seen it already. And it is black, and I was going to do, it has striping on the sleeves. And I was going to do like similar striping with like a burgundy and a light gray. You guys are not going to be able to see this. It is too black. But if you see, I put the collar in, the neckband, and I did the sleeves, but I changed the striping to just a light gray. I didn't like how the other yarn was working up in it. I was going to try to use some hobium yarn in there, but it was a little too thin compared to the cascade I was using, so it was changing the gauge, and the stripes were looking really tight, and I didn't want to fuss with going up a needle size just for the stripes, because you still alternate with the black. It was going to look weird, so I just decided not to. So I just did a 3-stripe pattern up on the upper arm on one arm, and a 3-stripe pattern on the lower arm of the other arm. And I did a pretty long cuff for the sleeves. I still need to do the button bands. I think I might have made the body a little too big. I think I made the 38, and I think I hit gauge. I usually check gauge pretty closely on sweaters. But I don't know, I think it just came out bigger than what I was expecting it to, so especially after the button band, because I did lose a lot of weight, and I still kind of sometimes underestimate my size. Plus I do have, my weight is fluctuating, but I still lost like 47 pounds or so, and I still think I'm bigger than I am. And so even when I want some positive ease in a sweater, I don't know. I think I did take the 38, and that should have been plenty of positive ease, but I don't know, maybe it was just, maybe my gauge was a little larger, because this body is, when I try it on, it seems really big, and you can't tell because it's rolling until I put the button band on, but I think it's going to be kind of huge on me. But I'm cool with that. It's going to be a big comfy house sweater. I still have to Kitchener the underarms, because that was the way the pattern was written. I usually like to just pick up stitches in the underarm and add stitches instead of Kitchenering, but no big. I can totally Kitchener. It just gives you more underarm room. What else was I going to say? I hope you guys can see this. It's so dark with this bad lighting, but I'm going to do the button bands. I think I'm going to do light gray buttons to coordinate with the stripes. So they'll really stick out from the button bands. I think I need 7/8, like 6 7/8 buttons for this. So I think it'll tie it together. So it was just to use up stash and to get another sweater done that I had bought the pattern for in my pattern stash. So, and again, I'll hang it on the mannequin. She doesn't have arms, but you'll still see it better on the mannequin. And put a picture in. What else did I do? Oh, I put a hat on last night. Oh, and this bag is from Silver Shed USA. I love her bags. And it's the Avengers. And this is a pretty good sized one. Oh, and polka dots on the inside. But what I was doing was testing out, remember we bought that Karen Pantone back when? I am actually making something out of it. So I actually had the will to wind up all the little balls, because as you know, it is not a color changing, it is a mini little balls tied up together in a braid. is the way they sell it as their put up. So I finally got the gumption to wind all the little balls up. And I am starting a hat. And I don't have it on paper, but I'll put it in the description. It is the, I can't print anything right now, Skalbagge Cabled Hat. And it's a free pattern. If you look for it on Ravelry, it's Skalbagge. And I'm not sure if that's like Portuguese or Skalbagge. It's a braided, like, not braided, cabled hat. And this is just the rim. And I had done the entire rim and was starting the hat last night and realized I screwed up on the rim and had to rip it out. And I'm just going to go in order of the colors, like this way. So it's going to go the light, the green, the blue. And we'll see how it turns out with a cable. Yeah, I had misread it. It's actually got a weird pattern because it goes straight, the ribbon goes straight into the cabling. So it was like knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, and I had done just knit 2, purl 1 all the way around. And so when I went into the cable work, it didn't fit, go figure. And then I figured out, oh, read, because it's a really nice pattern. She puts a lot of detail in. It was just me not reading. So we'll see. I'll give you my first impressions so far. It's a very soft yarn. And if you remember, the content is a little overpriced for what the yardage. They consider it a number 5. I don't consider it a number 5 bulky. They want you to use a size 10. I am not using a size 10. This is a 5 on the rim. So you can see a 10 might be pretty, this compresses a lot. So I'm using a 5 on the rim. I'm going to use probably an 8 on the hat itself. They want a 10. Yeah. And it was 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, 20% wool. So it was a very small wool content. So the one thing I have noticed is it doesn't like to be ripped out because it tends to untwist. Not enough wool in there to really keep the plies together. And as you can see, it starts to do this. And as you can see, it's made up of lots of little tiny plies. And it tends to, even in mid, when you rip it out a lot or fuss with it a lot, even in mid, it tends to kind of, because you can see it'll come undone and untwist. It has a light twist for this, I guess. And, oh, I can't show you. It's not focusing. But anyway, if you twist it just enough, it starts to come apart. And starts to separate like this, like on the end. It'll do that mid-ply as well. And then you kind of have to tighten it up as you go. And I don't like that because, I don't know, it just, you have to, it looks like crap if it starts to unply on you. So if I've noticed if you have to rip back, like I did, or fuss with it a little bit, it tends to want to untwist. So yeah, that's the only con I've seen so far, is it just unplying on itself. But keep in mind they are super small balls, so there's not a lot of tension in this, you know what I mean, because of the way they've packaged them with the color changes. Oh, I'm tangled on the pink. But still, I mean, that could be an issue if you have to rip back a lot. But the yarn is very soft and very plumpy. Oh, great. Got a hair in my... There we go. It is soft and plump, which is why I was going to choose it for the cable work. Let me clean this off. To see if the cables really pop out, because the yarn is so... Because they do like a zillion plies here. I don't even know. Can't even count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Maybe 8 tiny plies. So it makes it a pretty round, plump yarn. So that's my other work in progress I just put on last night. Oh my gosh, you guys. I also did 4 unicorn cowls. And that was part of my Christmas knitting / crochet. That was really taking up a lot of my time. So I don't have anything, I don't have them here to show you because I had to mail them already. But I do have pictures I will put in. But I did 4 unicorn cowls. It was the Yulene unicorn, I think, hood or cowl. And it's by the Velvet Acorn, which I do a lot of her stuff. She has really good patterns. So, anyway, yap, yap, yap. I'll put those in. Those were some more finished. And then I think I'm on to acquisitions, maybe? I can show you, when I bought the bag, the little bag from Blueprint, I also bought, which I can't get in there, this big bag, which has scraps and whatnots in there. It was also 50% off. So, but then with those, I bought some Croy, because it was on sale. And I hadn't used these colors yet, so I could show you. So this was all from Croftsy. This is Deep End. And then this one was... So yeah, that was my, the only yarn I bought from Blueprint when I got the bags. Oh, actually, I take that back. There was some acrylic, but I ended up not using it for what I was going to use it for and stuffed it in stash. But it was just the Sprightly brand acrylic from Blueprint, and it was just like in a denim color. It's no biggie. So that's the only things I bought at Blueprint. So I really like the patterns. I think too on Mary Maxim website they've got the patterns like 50% off. So it's like two something a ball instead of 5 something a ball. And I was thinking about going over there and buying some. Let's see, acquisitions. I did buy. Now I don't know if you guys know, but I about the podcast Canadian Crocheter, and it's with Debbie, and she on her podcast had mentioned bags for beaker, and I bought one. So here's it's on Etsy, and what they do is they have like a farm, and he got his part of his beak ripped off, and they call him Beaker Butt. It's so cute. But anyway, so they take care of him, of course, and they have a big farm, and they have feed, and they take the feed bags and they make them into bags. And so I got one with sheep on it, and I used reusable bags for my grocery shopping and other shopping, and plus I live in Washington State, and they're also trying to outlaw plastic bags, which I think they should totally do. Here, they got a lot of the counties are outlawed, and they're kind of working their way towards me, so I just want to have a bunch of bags ready, because I usually use, majority of my shopping is these or paper, if I run out of these kind of bags. So this would be perfect for grocery shopping. It's really tough, because you know feed bags, they got this really, really tough plastic, and it's really well made. So what they do is they take their feed bags and they make them into bags to sell to help buy more feed. And it was packaged really nicely. I didn't do an unboxing for you guys. I just kind of unpackaged it. But she had it like tied up with some really pretty twine. And then there was a little handwritten note, which I did save so I could show you guys. Here's the card if you guys are interested in maybe going over there and buying a bag. This bag was a really good size. As you can see, it's like an average, probably grocery bag size. And it was $10 and free shipping. So you know that they have to pay for shipping, so they're probably getting maybe $7 or $8, $6 to $8 off the bags for feed. And anything would help. So upcycled grain bag totes to help support a mostly rescued flock of geese, ducks, and chickens. 100% of the proceeds go right back to the flock. So, and it came from Maine. But anyway, she says, thanks for choosing bags for Beaker. We hope you enjoy your new bag as much as we did making it. And then it's so cute. I think is it Dearth? Gratitude? I cannot read that part. With gratitude, Dory. With gratitude, Nicole and Beaker Butt. I guess they call him Beaker Butt. So, I just kind of want to show you freaking cat hair. Show you that if you guys want to go pick one up. It's for a good cause, and the bags are really sturdy. My boyfriend put one of our cats in it and dragged him around, so that gives you any idea. And I think the little one weighs like 10 pounds by now. I was like, no, you're going to ruin my bag. And he's like, this bag is not ripping. So I bought that just to show you guys. Again, I'll try to put a picture in because this is way too close. What else did I do? Oh, I did get a small haul from Lion Brand, but I'm going to do a separate video on that.